Jacob Cast 2024. Um, Hit that like button, leave a comment, please subscribe to my channel. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I'm gonna do my WWE Smackdown review, April 19, 2024. We're gonna talk about Smackdown, ladies and gentlemen. Man, Smackdown was very good. A lot of storylines, a lot of interesting things that happened on today's show. What next? Wait, hold on. Um, what next for the Bloodline? We will talk about what happened on this show. First of all, we did get some major releases from WWE. We had some superstar release. Zion Lee, Ehsan Quinn, Jinder Mahal. Jinder Mahal got released tonight. We will talk about that. We will talk about what happened on SmackDown. Now, this is what happened on SmackDown here. Shawn Michaels tears into WWE recruit on the cut list, the cut line. Santo at the bar will prove he was right all along. Pretty Deadly Monster Night Tag Team Fatal 4-Way. AJ Styles had a very good match with LA Knight. He beat LA Knight, and he will face Cody Rhodes for the WWE title at Backlash in France on May 4th. That is AJ Styles is a perfect opponent for Cody Rhodes' his first title defense. It's also a dream match, and a match we haven't seen before. I'm looking forward to it. There's also a story here. AJ Styles wrestled Dusty Rhodes when he was 25 years old for the NWA title, whatever title, all those years ago. He's now wrestling Dusty Kid for the WWE title. Now, this could be, is it going to be a one-off, or is it going to continue going into Saudi Arabia on May 25th? Hopefully. We also had Triple H give new WWE Tag Team title to A-Town Down Under. Austin Theory and Grayson Waller got new tag team titles. The titles look very good. It looks very good. Austin Theory and Grayson Waller are a great tag team. They have a lot of potential. Their challenger will be the Street Profit. Street Profit win the Fatal 4-Way tag team to earn the title match. We also had Damage Control in the crowd. We had Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. So clearly they're setting up Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair to take the tag team title from Damage Control. I think they will. Now Bianca's not going to be in the title picture because we've been there, done that. Jade Cargill, not yet. Too soon. No need to watch her into a title program. Have her go after Damage Control. Her and Bianca is a great pairing. We could do Bianca and Jade in a one-on-one match, but I think they'll go after the tag team titles. Also, what's next with the Bloodline? I actually like this. Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga beat up Kevin Owens. Solo Sikoa came out, as soon as SmackDown got started, we saw Solo came out in that car wearing a suit, trying to be like Roman Reigns, taking authority. Is Solo Sikoa is pretty much the new tribal chief. They came out tonight, fans chanting, "We want Roman." Solo has a lot of potential. Solo's actually he's speaking more. He's acting more dominant. They beat down Kevin Owens. Tama Tonga beat up Kevin Owens backstage, brought him out there. Kevin Owens was bleeding. Now, Nick Aldis did say I think next week we may get Tama Tonga and Kevin Owens in a match. We may get that match this week. But man, oh man, this is all leading to a Bloodline Civil War. Now we gotta wait for Jacob Fatu because he signed with the company. He was backstage at WrestleMania. He could be back there on SmackDown. I don't know when we're gonna get it, but I think we will get it. We will get Jacob Fatu, and we'll get the Bloodline 2.0, and eventually, whenever Roman Reigns comes back, we'll get him and the Usos again. It'll be Bloodline Civil War. This is all to turn Roman Reigns to a babyface, and hopefully we get Rock and Roman later down the line. I hope. We also got Carlito and Santos Escobar. Santos win, decent match. I'm kind of over the feud with the LWO and Legado, hoping that the feud come to an end. Hopefully, when we get to the draft, they go to different shows. Hopefully. Um, Karrion Cross was on SmackDown, even though he was on NXT this week. Karrion Cross will use the WWE draft as instruments of change. If Cross going NXT, we won't know. Waller and Theory don't fear the Street Profits. The main event, we got Tiffany Stratton interfering. Bailey versus Naomi for the title. Tiffany Stratton comes in, causing the DQ. So clearly, Tiffany gonna be in the title picture. We could get a triple threat at Backlash, and then probably a one-on-one at the King and Queen of the Ring pay-per-view. I mean, Tiffany Stratton is one of those women that can win Money in the Bank. I didn't appreciate Will fit her saying it's Tiffany time. I think that will happen. Come on. Enough of these damn commercials.
If she makes it through and it's second to last year, she might just go absolutely ballistic with that.
I thought I might see Sean WhatsApp on this. We did. Alright. Okay, come on now. See what Sean WhatsApp had to say about this.
I like when you have a balance of a guy that's the talker, the escalate. Well, we're going to talk about tag picture in a little bit.
I can't remember the last time they publicly announced a release, and it had gotten to some points where, well, I see those matches.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was pretty clear even initially when she got almost never used that it was sort of a, well, she's been here so long.
Post-release, rejuvenated careers with QIV.
Lord White invited me. Lord White invited me to soft ground Ugandan wrestling. Insane.
You're gonna go there. You're gonna get interviews. You're gonna leave before the event starts. That is
Lauren White, Cody Rhodes bucket list. All of a sudden now.
There you go.
But I mean, you mentioned Mason Man. I don't think that the women's division has ever had their Santino Mella, and I say that in a very complimentary way because he was massively over. But I think she's a better worker. Super chat for it, and you know what? Can't either. So like it's man, it's rough.
Sean will update you if he finds out.
Again, period, point blank. You don't get to assume what somebody.
I love. Is for select this weekend. Right.
Right, that's why Soul Brody's like, clearly our family is having issues. So I brought her a therapist.
Yeah.
And at Backlash, we will talk about our feelings.
That's almost like The Godfather. We'll bring in the family therapist, Clemenza.
Alright, come on. Enough of these damn commercials, man. I didn't want to see that. Alright, come on. They dropped Luke and Kevin Owens.
Georgia boys going one-on-one.
Here's the Salamotta sound.
We had a few more developments in that story where Kevin Owens has now been roped into his bloodlines. We also know who will be challenging Cody Rhodes. The WWE Championship coming up in France at Backlash next month. Cody has a challenger, and it's actually somebody that he's never set foot in the ring with here. So we're getting the first time ever match at Backlash. Number one contenders match tonight between AJ Styles and LA Knight. WrestleMania rematch between those two. That was not the main event on this show. The main event of the show was the Women's Championship with Bayley in the first title defense, putting the title on the line against her good friend Naomi. We do not have a new Women's Champion, although it looks like we may be in for a triple threat match at Backlash based on the finish of tonight's main event. Because if you thought that Tiffany Stratton was out of the picture just by losing to Naomi last week, Tiffany Stratton was right there. She was the final person that we saw at the end of Smackdown tonight. I have a feeling that we may be headed for a triple threat match with Backlash. We also learned via a commercial break, how WWE is a new Women's World Champion on Raw this coming Monday night. If you missed it, Rhea Ripley showed up at the beginning of the show on Monday night. She vacated the Women's World title. Due to injury, unfortunately, they did not mention how the new champion was going to be determined. All they said was that this coming Monday, a new champion would be crowned. In the commercial they showed tonight, they mentioned Battle Royale. I figured that's what it was going to be. I mean, look, you're doing a one-night, whether it's a match or a tournament or whatever, you know they're crowning a champion in one night. And even though you got 3 hours to fill, you could have a one-night tournament if you wanted to. Battle Royal, they love doing Battle Royals every now and then. I'm not totally surprised by that. I think that bodes well for Liv Morgan or Nia Jax.
I think that's just fucking lazy. A battle royal, you couldn't do a tournament. You could have just saved. You could have did what you did last year. Last year we had a tournament to crown the new world heavyweight champion. Why can't you do that with the woman? Why do we have to be so lazy with the woman? They really have a problem with the way how they handle women. Because you don't want to give a woman an opportunity to be like have a tournament or something, build up some women, have some good matches. You have to do a lazy fucking battle royal. I'm not a fan of these battle royals no more. Same typical generic bullshit. Lazy. Men battle royals are not interesting anymore. I mean, we just had a battle royal with the men on Smackdown 2 weeks ago. The Andre Giant battle royal. That was boring. Now the woman can be shit. It may come down to Liv Morgan and Nia Jax because those are the only two who I think are winning it. Who else on Monday Night winning it? No one.
That is how we will get a new Women's World Champion coming up on Monday night. We also, speaking of titles, I'm going to show you what the new Smackdown Tag Team titles look like. We have brand new belts unveiled on Raw. Monday night, the new World Tag Team titles, which followed a very familiar pattern if you are familiar with the other titles on the Raw brand. So I came into tonight figuring, man, I could keep my eyes closed and picture what these new belts are going to look like. And I'm very happy to say that I was wrong. We have new belts and they look damn good. Why did it take this long? Why couldn't we have belts like this for the last 5 years, 10 years? Why did it take this long? I'm going to show you what those belts look like. But before we even get into anything that actually happened on tonight, we have breaking news. This actually broke during the show tonight. A former WWE champion is gone from the company. And he's not the only one. There are actually 3 people that we know of, at least so far, who are gone from WWE. But we'll start with the former WWE champion that I wrote in without. The former WWE champion that was released based on what he tweeted, he claims he quit. But the former champion who is no longer with the company as of tonight, Jinder Mahal.
Jim Mahal.
Jinder has been hindered by WWE. He is gone. Xia Li, gone. And Zion Quinn. It's a bad night to be somebody in WWE that has an X at the beginning of their name.
Yeah.
I think Sean Waltman doesn't work there. Zion Quinn. I know some of you may be thinking, who? What? What's that? Zion Quinn was from NXT. Zion Quinn is someone they made a free agent in case they wanted to use them on the main roster. Zion Quinn is no longer in WWE. The Jinder Mahal, 12 years in total with WWE. It's not the first time that Jinder has been released by the company. There was a gap there of about probably a couple of years when he was gone from the company before they brought him back. But in total, it was about 12 years from the day he entered developmental until today in his release. And that's a pretty long period of time. And in that time, he did win championships, right? Didn't he win the United States Championship at one point? But he also became WWE champion back in 2017. Beat Randy Orton, had a 6-month reign as the champion before AJ Styles beat him right before Survivor Series, where it would have been Jinder Mahal one-on-one against Brock Lesnar. Because back then it was champion against champion, Raw versus Smackdown at Survivor Series. That was what they did back then. And it was like a week before, maybe not even a week. It might have been less than a week before Survivor Series. They got that fucking title off him real quick. And they put that belt on AJ Styles, and we ended up getting a great match at Survivor Series that year with AJ and Brock. I love that match. But this is a man who got 6 months as the WWE champion, and it came at the expense of Shinsuke Nakamura. I really believe that Shinsuke Nakamura was really more than anything else. He was a victim of bad timing. Because it just so happened that when he came into WWE at that time, got called up, whatever, Jinder was the champion. They were pushing him. Vince McMahon, he had a thing for Jinder at that time. He's my guy. We're going to put him with Shinsuke. That way we'll try to get some good matches out of it. And Shinsuke Nakamura had to work with Jinder Mahal, lose to Jinder Mahal. He never did get that WWE title. But that was his big, really his peak in the company. And then, of course, disappeared in recent years, but then reappeared at the beginning of the year. Had a segment on Raw with The Rock. I think it was the very first Raw of the year, right? Day one. Got laid out by The Rock. There was a whole big controversy. Tony Khan on social media, tweeting about it, tweeting about Jinder. Hulk got involved. It was a whole thing. Now, Jinder on Twitter said, I quit. This is what he said in his tweet. He said, I quit, Maharaja out. And he put an emoji at the end of that with a money bag. If you look at his Twitter bio, it says free agent 90 days. So you can begin the countdown right now. It'll be 90 days before Tony Khan scoops up Jinder to bring him in to do the job for him.
Okay.
Not much else to say about it. You know, Jinder's going to do fine. I'll tell you something. You know, you can talk about Jinder and Jinder is hindered and all this other stuff. Jinder Mahal was not going anywhere in WWE. He just wasn't. You know, he had that run. You could always say he was WWE champion. But at this stage in the game, he wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
He hit the independency. And I actually think, in part because he was such a familiar face for so long and he is a former world champion, Jinder, I think, is going to do well for himself on the independency. So when he puts free agent 90 days with a little fire emoji in his bio, I think he's going to do well on the indies. They sure as hell weren't doing anything with him in WWE. So it's one of those things where whether he quit.
So is it only Jinder Mahal? Did they release Veer and Sangha? No more in this chair? Are they released or did Jinder Mahal? If it did Jinder Mahal, then okay, Veer and Sangha are being they might get released because they aren't going anywhere.
Or whether he was fired, whatever it was, it's for the best. Because again, I think he's going to be able to go out there now. And I think he'll be able to call his own shots. He'll be able to book his own shots. He'll probably do very well. and at least he'll be active. In WWE, he wasn't active. You know, just kind of wasting away. Some people are happy to do that and collect a paycheck. Other people want to get out there, right? They want to work. They want to be doing something. Obviously, WWE was not doing anything. You know, he was managing Indus-Sher. When was the last time we saw Indus-Sher on TV? Like once, recently. It's not like they're doing anything with them either.
Yeah, they'll get released.
Isaiah Lee was also released by the company. He posted a message. I'll read that message to you now. Unlike Jinder, who said, "I quit, Maharaja out," he was a little more diplomatic here in the response. He said, "It has been over 7 years since I joined WWE, and as the first female Chinese superstar." And it's true, you know, when they first signed her, they made a very big deal about the fact that she was the first Chinese born, I believe, WWE star. And yeah, they've been trying to break into all kinds of international markets over the years. So they had high hopes for her, and then ended up not doing it. But he said, "I feel incredibly proud. I am sincerely grateful to WWE and Triple H for welcoming me into this big family. During this valuable time, I have not only grown tremendously, but also learned countless invaluable experiences. Thank you for your trust, the opportunities you've given me to break barriers and set an example. Special thank you to all the coaches, colleagues, and staff who have helped me along the way. Your support and assistance have made me feel at home in a foreign land. I also want to thank all of the WWE fans." And she goes on to say, "This journey has been wonderful. I sincerely thank everybody who has been a part of it. This is not the end, but a new beginning. Let's embrace more exciting moments together." What a positive, uplifting message. An appropriate sound effect for these three that have been let go from their jobs. But a very positive, uplifting message. She's keeping a positive attitude about it. That's good to see. 7 years, yeah, it didn't feel like 7 years. It didn't feel like 7 years because, again, they didn't really do anything. I remember when they first called her up to the main roster, and those vignettes that they put together for her, almost like comic book-like vignettes, were very well done. I mean, as far as introducing a new character, I thought they pretty much hit the nail on the head, and I was intrigued to see where it would go. And again, it's like so many people who get pushed initially and then they're not, or they introduce them and they have one appearance.
But they have no life.
They kind of disappear. You know, case in point, Cameron Grimes on Smackdown. But they didn't follow up on it. She was the protector. She was the protector for a few weeks, and then one day they shot a backstage segment with her where she said, "I am no longer the protector." So she was the protector for about a month, and then she wasn't, and then you barely saw her. And that didn't change under Triple H. You can't all put that at the feet of Vince McMahon and say, "Well, Vince McMahon didn't know what to do with Xia Li." He didn't, but neither did Triple H. So if you're a Xia Li fan and you're upset that she's gone, you got to hold his feet to the fire on that as well, because he could have done something with her and he opted not to. As Zion quit,
Quite frankly,
there's going to be a lot of
you
people
gotta do
who
it.
don't watch NXT or never saw Zion
He's
Quinn,
shown
don't know
no
what he looks like. I mean, looks-wise, he had a good look to him, but that's pretty much where it ended. I watched him in NXT when he first showed up. I was never overly impressed as far as, okay, this guy's on the fast track. I don't know how much experience he had before they brought him into NXT. If he was pretty much, you know, fresh out of another sport. I think he may have been a rugby player, unless I'm confusing him with someone else. I think he came from a totally different sports background. But he signed with them in 2018, and he debuted in 2020. He was involved in maybe a handful of stories in NXT, nothing really major. And then I think, what was it a year ago in the draft? He was designated a free agent. Maybe it was the year before. But he was designated a free agent, kind of like Von Wagner, who was designated a free agent, and I don't think we've seen him once on the main roster since. He's still there, though. Him and Robert Stone are still working for WWE. But they designated Zion a free agent with the idea that they can use him on the main roster whenever they want to. You know what they did with Zion Quinn? They used him twice. They threw him in a battle royal been for a shot at the Intercontinental title. But it was like a random battle royal where he was just in there. It wasn't even like he got an entrance or an introduction or anything. That was almost a year ago. The last time we saw him was about a month and a half ago on Smackdown, and he was job bait for Braun Breaker. So clearly, they didn't have any plans for him, and I don't know if that has to do with the fact that he just wasn't progressing, with the rate that they wanted. Yeah, they've said before, when they bring people into the PC now, they do these evaluations after a set period of time. If they don't see improvement in you after 6 months, they get rid of you. So with him, I don't know if it was a performance issue. I don't know if it was something that he requested himself. I mean, I'm sure those details will come out in the days to come, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend like this guy was doing big things. He was on the fast track to, some big things here in WWE. How could they do this? Now, this sounds about right. So anyway, those are the 3 names that we know of. It's always sad to hear about people losing their jobs. I just can't sit here and tell you I'm surprised by any of these 3. I'm not. Not in the slightest.
Because they weren't being used. Who gives a fuck about Jinder Mahal? One of the worst WWE champions of the modern era. Thank God he's gone. He'll do fine somewhere else. He's not gonna be used in WWE, especially under the Triple H era. They're not gonna put Jinder Mahal. Jinder Mahal will put because of Vince McMahon and the political bullshit. Now, since Jinder Mahal, you think in the share gonna last long? Veer Mahan and Sangam, they'll get released pretty soon because they aren't gonna be used. No one can fuck about them. They were only given TV time because of Jinder Mahal. And now that Jinder's gone, and the sheriff can be gone pretty soon. They're in catering. They're being used. No one takes them seriously. So, Xia Li, I feel bad for Xia Li. She's been there for a while, but she wasn't being used. Last time she was being used, I think she wrestled Becky Lynch, and it was like last year, like back in October, I think. She wrestled Becky Lynch, but she wasn't being potential in her. Zion Quinn, probably, I don't know, I feel bad for Zion Quinn, but he wasn't being used. There was no plan for no rest. I guess he didn't improve.
Those are the names we know of so far. Hopefully there's no more, but
there might be more.
If there are, we'll probably hear about them very soon. This is your Friday Night Smackdown review. Before I went live. $50 Gunther Bob. The same idea. Each tried for a running crossbody block. World Heavyweight Champion. And I'm not saying that he's absolutely going to be champion. I actually think it's probably not going to happen. He's going to hold the top title on either brand. But he's got a better shot at it if he goes for Raw. Should the titles stay where they are. And I also feel like, well, if I don't think he's going to win the world title, which I don't think he is, I still think that U.S. title is the way to go with it. Right now, the U.S. title is on SmackDown. Right now, the U.S. title is on Logan Paul. And I still would like to see Logan Paul in LA Knight. And I still think that could be the SummerSlam. So I don't know what they would do with him in the meantime because we have several months before SummerSlam. But I still feel like that's the match. I think that's the program for him. That's his best path forward is the U.S. title, which is a title he can actually win. I just don't see him being in the world title mix right now on either brand. But as far as Cody and AJ, I like the match. First time ever match.
Yeah, me too.
First time we're ever seeing these two in the ring together. 2 Georgia boys going one-on-one. Obviously, they have history. Both men were members of Bullet Club at different times. They're going to have a contract signing on the show next week. It'll be very interesting to see if they mention that, whether they mention Bullet Club by name or not. And we've had the announcers mention Bullet Club. Drawing on how you and I, we kind of came up a similar way. You and I have similar paths to WWE. But AJ is right back in the same position that he was in 8 years ago. The same year he debuted in this company. But he lost at WrestleMania and then went on to wrestle for the WWE. He gave Roman Reigns 2 kick-ass matches. I think he's going to do the exact same thing here for Cody. I think we probably get more than one match out of it. It may be the same exact thing. You went back to back with Roman Reigns. It was like Payback and whatever the other pay-per-view was. Back-to-back WWE title matches that were excellent. We may get the same thing here. Cody and AJ. I can see them doing it again, potentially at the King of the Ring, King and Queen of the Ring. It's coming up to Saudi Arabia next month. Memorial Day weekend. They aired highlights of the Bloodline segment from last week's show, which featured the debut of Tama Tonga, and it also featured not only Tama, but Solo beating the hell out of Jimmy Uso and kicking through. Jimmy got whacked. Basically, what happened. Very appropriate, seeing as how Solo was out here tonight dressed like a mob boss. So we come back live. We have a shot of the parking lot outside. Black SUV pulls up, and out walks Solo Sikoa, and Solo Sikoa is dressed. He was dressed like he was going to the Hall of Fame ceremony. He comes out of the SUV, head to toe in black, dressed to the nines, got a chain around his neck. Paul Heyman is standing there waiting for him, and he tells Solo, "Nice threads." And then camera pans back a little bit, and we see standing behind Heyman is Tama Tonga. Solo tells Heyman to meet the newest member of the Bloodline, my MFT. And he gave Solo, a big hug. I have been racking my brain trying to figure out what the hell this means. The only thing I could come up with was, and they're never going to say this on TV, I'm sure it's not what it means, but motherfucking Tonga. He's my motherfucking Tonga. Because I don't know what the hell an MFT is. I know what an NFT is. I don't know what an MFT is. And there are people in the chat earlier making all kinds of suggestions about what it means. A lot of people have said it means my family tree. It doesn't make any sense because he said my MFT. My family tree. It doesn't make any sense. So I'm sure one of these weeks we'll find out what it is, but I have no idea. And feel free in the chat, list out the suggestions of what you think MFT stands for. Maybe we'll go with the best one. No fucking idea what it's talking about. So Solo asks Heyman, is Kevin Owens? Heyman said, he's most likely in the locker room. The show has already started. Solo told Paul to take me to him. Solo was out here, like I said, this guy is dressed like a mafia boss. I mean, he walks out of that SUV looking like the tribal chief. You know, he's probably the Rock's tribal chief. So he may well be the tribal chief, just not for Roman Reigns. He's the tribal chief for someone else. Of course, it may take a while before we find out for sure. But this is something that this Solo Sikoa character has needed for a while. You know, he's been standing in the background, silent, and looking at his thumb. Okay, great. You know, but that gets old there for a while. At some point, you have to evolve the character. He has to start speaking more. He has to start coming out of his shell, showing more personality. And that's what we're starting to see here. So it's cool. It's cool to see them finally letting him be a little more dynamic in his character. The way he was in NXT. You know, when he was just a street fighter. We got to see that side of Solo Sikoa. Now we're starting to see some of that NXT Solo come out a little bit more. After a break, they showed the Pittsburgh Steelers sitting in the crowd. If you want to guess where Smackdown was tonight. They were enjoying themselves. And then it was to the ring. Smackdown General Manager Nick Aldis to introduce Triple H. All of them showed up on Raw. Actually, he's been showing up a lot. He was at WrestleMania. He was on Raw. He was on SmackDown tonight. I'm surprised he didn't show up at NXT. Invitation ceremony here. You're on SmackDown. Another QR code. Shadowy hooded figure. You see a blue sky with. That's what it is. Beyond that, aren't those two beautiful belts?
Yeah.
It's nice to be able to say that here in WWE for a change. Two beautiful belts. Two belts that actually look like wrestling championships that you would want to fight. And I love the homage to the classic tag team titles from the 80s. And the Smackdown tag titles from 2002, which in and of themselves were an homage to the classic belt from the 80s.
Thank God.
You see, this is more like. Actually, there's an even better image here. Because of course, it only took a few minutes to get them up on WWE Shop for $500. But that's a better shot at what the belt looks like. They did a good job. You know, I could quibble and just. I hate to even do this because again, I think it's a really nice belt. Because they love their brand consistency. That's why the tag belts and the women's world belt, world heavyweight title on Raw, they all have that big gold look. They all have that same basic look, right? It's like brand synergy. They want that consistency across all the championships. I think is unnecessary because realistically, the only belt that matters is your top title. So I understand them wanting Cody Rhodes to walk around with the giant logo belt because that's what people see, right? Super Bowl winners go out there on parade. They have the belt with the big logo on it. The team that wins the Stanley Cup is hoisting the cup up, and they have their parade. There's the big logo belt, baseball belts. I get it. Doesn't really matter, though. Here, this thing nailed it. So I was happy to be wrong. But I thought it was just going to be another version of the Undisputed belt. Mock Triple H. Aldous got hot when he saw this, and their titles would disappear very soon. And before that match, we went backstage. We had a segment with Naomi. Surprised me at all. Because I always thought when we got to this point that Roman finally did lose the title. That was the beginning of the Mega Baby. And this is only the beginning of it. We're not going to see Roman for a while. He's filming movies. He's pictures of him on the set of movies and stuff. We may not see him until deep into the summer, close to SummerSlam. We're at SummerSlam. But already the people are chanting for Roman Reigns. They're embracing Roman Reigns. They want to see Roman Reigns. And it's only been 2 weeks since WrestleMania. So imagine if they continue to let it build, let it simmer, what the reaction will be that first time we see him back on TV, or if he runs out, to interfere in a pay-per-view match. Let's say Rock came back for a match with Cody at SummerSlam as opposed to WrestleMania next year. Roman shows up. Whenever it is, people are going to go nuts for this guy. He's going to be Superman to these fans. Ultimately, when he comes back, and he'll be as over as he is everything. He'll be more over than he was when they pushed him as a babyface. The first time, he'll be more over than he was as the tribal chief the last 3.5 years. And then we will get the eventual reunion with the Usos. That'll be a whole other chapter of the story that unfolds. Jacob Fatu. I still am of the opinion that we could very well see Jacob Fatu debut at Backlash to cost Jey Uso his World Heavyweight title match against Damian Priest. Just because, even though he's removed from the bloodline, Jey is, if we are eventually going to get the reunion with him and Jimmy, which we will, and the reunion with the Usos and Roman, which we will, he has to be reintroduced into the story at some point. Maybe it's too soon. But that's why I could easily see it's a big opportunity for him. And I could see the bloodline factoring into that himself. But then I see what they did tonight here on Smackdown, and what might be more realistic is if Kevin Owens is involved in this, Kevin Owens is going to need some help. And so who would be the most logical person for Kevin Owens to go to? I guess it would be Sami Zayn, but it's not going to be him. Randy Orton, who we have not seen since WrestleMania. I could see Kevin Owens and Randy Orton coming together for a match, maybe a Backlash, against Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga. And maybe that's where we find the next newest member of the bloodline, would be Jacob Watson. And he helped Solo and Tama win. Now we have an all new bloodline. We have Solo, we have Tama, we have Fatu, and then the story goes on. That seems a little more realistic to me. I think Orton and Owens as partners make sense against these two. So we'll see. But again, I am enjoying the story so far. You know, they're taking it in a different direction, which they had to do. And I'm all in. I'm all in on it. I want to see where they go with it. They have my interest. They have my opinion. Now, after a break, Paul Heyman was shown walking backstage, and Nick Aldis grabbed him and pulled him out into the parking lot to show him Tama Tonga's rental car had crashed into Kevin Owens' rental car. Uh-oh. I guess that rental car company's not going to rent to wrestlers. So Aldis wanted to know what this was all about. And Heyman obviously had no idea. He looked as surprised as anybody. And Aldis told him, he said, look, I'm not going to accept this savage behavior. He said Heyman needs to make the bloodline aware of that as well. The draft is next week. He says all the top brass are going to be there, and I mean the top brass. He said they've got their eyes on things, and he reminded Heyman that losing was not the only thing that had consequences. Because remember what Heyman said last week. Losing has consequences. That's why they lost their locker room. And Solo would say to Heyman, he said, losing has consequences. Right? And that's when they kicked Jimmy out of the group. So Nick Aldis is laying down the hammer here. And we'll see what happens now. Because next Friday is night one of the draft. And then that carries over into Raw the following Monday. That's night. In the arena, Carlito made his entrance with Zelina Vega for his match with Santos Escobar, who was out with Elektra Lopez. They aired an interview with Legado del Fantasma from earlier in the day.
Crowd loves Paul Heyman. At the top. And he trailed off as he held up 5 fingers, then became 4, 3, 2, 1. He brought up the politics going on within the bloodline, which he called the top act in WWE, which they will be back to the top act in WWE. Going into WrestleMania, they certainly were with The Rock. Got there, they were not. Now it looks like that they will be, sure. We want Roman. We want Roman. Chants in Pittsburgh were ringing out for Roman Reigns. Heyman paused. Solo looked very angry at the "We want Roman" chants. Shook his head and adjusted his shoulders. Heyman assured the fans that as the wise man, and he wanted to say the tribal chief, he stuttered. He didn't get the words out of his mouth. Solo yanked the microphone away. Solo leaned on the top rope and began to speak. Looking into the heart camera, fans booed, and he got the Dominic Mysterio treatment. Every time he lifted the microphone up and tried to say something, they gave him boos. Now that's Dominic's gimmick. Not sure if that's going to be an every week thing now for Solo Sikoa, but Pittsburgh certainly did not appreciate Solo Sikoa calling himself the tribal chief. So he said last week he had to lose a brother in order to find a new one. My MFT, Tama Tonga. Now, I don't know what MFT stands for. I tried to do some investigative work on social media. The only thing I came up with was My Family Tree. So if someone knows what MFT means, let me know. I'm very curious. My Family Tree is all I got. The camera cut to the stage where Owens was thrown out to the stage, bloody. Tonga followed behind and beat Owens on the stage. He leaves him bloody. and he stepped over the referees as the referees went to go check on Owens, who was bleeding profusely on one side of his face. Solo and Tonga stood together and raised their arms with their fingers pointed in the air. Heyman joined, but he was off in the distance as he raised his one. He didn't come off too confident. Heyman wasn't sure if he belonged. Owens then stumbled to ringside, and he went after Tonga. Tonga went outside and started beating up on Kevin Owens again. Solo's out there now. He throws Kevin Owens into the ringside steps and then into the ring. Tonga was absolutely destroying Kevin Owens. Graves called Tonga a savage. He grabbed the chair from ringside. Aldis got in his face. Thank God for Aldis, for him being out there. Solo threw the chair out of the ring. Owens was rolled to safety. On the other side, fans started a "You suck" chant. Solo and Tonga walked to the back. Solo observed the blood on his wrist, which was Kevin Owens' blood. Heyman looked stressed out, and obviously he knew. New bloodline took things way too far. So how did Tama Tonga find Kevin Owens? Well, Nick Aldis was outside, and he saw exactly what happened. Where Kevin Owens' rental car crashed into Tama Tonga's rental car. Tama Tonga took his rental car and legitimately ran it into Kevin Owens in the parking lot. And yes, this was real glass. Somewhere Jack Perry was very pleased. Nick Aldis came up to Heyman outside and walked him towards this accident in the parking lot. Aldis said one of the rental cars is Kevin Owens. The others is Tonga. Heyman was stuttering. He started telling Nick Aldis, listen, this wasn't authorized. This wasn't authorized. Aldis said on his show, listen, we settle it in the ring, not like this. He said next week, there's a draft. Top brass will be there, and he will not tolerate this type of savage behavior. He said he needed to make sure the bloodline understands. He says if he doesn't, the repercussions will be equally savage, because losing isn't the only thing that has consequences. I thought this was a tremendous segment. This accomplished many things here. And my opinion still stands on how things are going to go. The Rock is facilitating this savagery in this new bloodline. I think what we accomplished here is Solo looks like the tribal chief, is starting to talk like the tribal chief, and give orders like the tribal chief. This is not coming from Roman. This is coming from The Rock. The other sub-story is, where does Paul Heyman lie? Does he sit with the tribal chief Roman Reigns, or does he sit with the tribal chief in Solo Sikoa, which I do believe has been appointed by the final boss, The Rock? Solo looks the part. Tama Tonga is absolutely savage. They needed to establish him, what he brings to the table, who he is, what he's about. They did that. They gave him and the group a focus, and they're focusing on a familiar name. Not only because of what Kevin Owens said and did last week, but a familiar name that has been a thorn in the side of the bloodline. And this is a good role for Kevin Owens, because outside of this, there is nothing for him to do. He's feuded with Randy Orton. He's feuded with Logan Paul. There's nothing for him to do. So they established Tama Tonga. They established Solo Sikoa. Roman Reigns, now, without being on TV, and he won't be back till SummerSlam, is a babyface. They got that out there, and that's where the story is going to go. Where's Jimmy? How's Jay's already talking about Jimmy. Jay's already talking about new bloodline members joining, and he don't even know who they are. We see Jacob Fatu at Backlash in France. He's going to ruin Jey Uso's title shot. The bloodline is going to be even stronger come the draft. Jacob Fatu will be there. The Samoan Werewolf will be backing Solo and Tama Tonga. Roman Reigns is going to come on in. He's going to be back by the end of the summer. He's going to have to get the old bloodline back together. He's going to have to talk to Jimmy. He's going to have to talk to Jay. He's going to have to get them back on his side. This is a bloodline civil war that is already in motion. The only thing that I worry about is Solo, Tama Tonga, and Jacob Fatu. and I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, this is more towards the creative side of things. Do they have what it takes to take this from here tonight all the way through the summer and get us a story with all 6 of these guys? Now, Roman's not going to be back until SummerSlam. Jimmy and Jay will be back together before that. We're going to get Jimmy and Jay versus Solo and Tama Tonga, or however which way you want to spin it. Kevin Owens teaming with them, Sami Zayn getting back involved. I don't know. It's the great thing about this storyline. You don't know where it's going to go. You don't know who the supporting characters are going to be. But this is all leading to a Bloodline Civil War. We're going to get Cody and The Rock at SummerSlam. That's the best place to do it. We're going to get Roman back. This is going to be his match. He's going to have to take control back of the Bloodline. This is going to eventually lead to Roman and Rock butting heads. A Bloodline Civil War that could possibly play out inside War Games at Survivor Series. WWE's got a monster angle on their hands, and you're just seeing the beginning phases of it. I thought this segment was tremendous. It accomplished so much to establish Solo, establish Tama Tonga, and Paul Heyman still trying to say this can only be authorized by Roman Reigns. And I don't believe Solo Sikoa is acting on his own. I don't. There's a motive and there's a higher power, and that higher power is the Rock. Santos Escobar versus Carlito. I am over it. I love Santos. I do. I am so over the LWO and Legado del Fantasma. I am over it.
Yeah, me too.
Who attacked Dragon Lee? Just get. On separate shows. I am so done. Santos Escobar wins. We go to a commercial break. Zelina Vega was standing on Carlito's shoulders.
Now let me skip this. Wanted to show you the beginning of this. Alright.
WWE and Triple H for welcoming me into this big family. During this valuable time, I have not only grown tremendously, but also learned countless invaluable experiences. Thank you for your trust and the opportunities you have given me to break barriers and set an example. Special thank you to all the coaches, colleagues, and staff that have helped me along the way. Your support and assistance have made me feel at home in a foreign land. I also want to thank all the WWE fans. Jinder has been here.
Yeah.
Probably end up in TNA and win their world championship, and then all of you can go over there and praise that he's the greatest TNA champion of all time. You know, there are people that still, to this day, cite Jinder Mahal as one of the greatest WWE champions of all time. These people seriously need to be locked away in a mental asylum, never to speak of pro wrestling ever again. Do you understand that Jinder Mahal and the creative decision behind making Jinder Mahal the WWE Championship, the fact that I still fucking get chills in a terrible way when he won the championship from Randy Orton on that Smackdown, that fabled night. I mean, the collapse of Smackdown was imminent.
Smackdown died. Smackdown never recovered. It was the worst era of Smackdown I think I ever seen. They took over great and ruined it with that Jinder Mahal time reign, all because of political bullshit. Nobody looked at Jinder Mahal the world champion, a 7-year jobber, somehow in the main event scene. He had a terrible message, terrible on the mic, not great in the ring, terrible message, terrible feud with Randy Orton. That Punjabi prison band that they had at Battleground was awful. He won because of Great Khali. and then they fed Shinsuke Nakamura to Jinder Mahal. And Jinder Mahal only lost it because they were looking at a Survivor Series that had Mahal versus Brock Lesnar. So they called an audible, and they had AJ Styles beat him to get the match with Brock Lesnar. That match was awesome. That match was awesome. That's the only reason why Jinder Mahal dropped the title, because nobody was interested in seeing him versus Brock Lesnar in Survivor Series. So that's why we had AJ Styles beating for the title. But Jesus Christ, and Jinder Mahal, one of the worst three champions of the modern era.
Creative decision there to make Jinder Mahal the WWE champion and have him run through Shinsuke Nakamura. It did two things. It almost crippled the fucking brand, and Shinsuke Nakamura, to this very day, never recovered at all.
His first pinfall loss on Smackdown was by Jinder Mahal. And it was actually a screwy finish because Jinder Mahal had the Sin Brothers help him. And then Hell in a Cell, he pinned him clean, and he lost all his momentum. They killed momentum, he never recovered.
Imagine calling Shinsuke Nakamura up from NXT and then having him lose to someone that has been a jobber most of his career. Vince McMahon effect. That's the era of Vince McMahon. Thank Christ we're not in that era anymore. Ridiculous. One of the worst creative moves in the history of the company and one of the worst champions of all time. I mean, it's probably number one or number two, man. Mahal and the great Khali. That's the type of company that he is surrounding himself with. Xia Li. I mean, she never really got a fair chance. Oh my goodness, man, you guys. You, JD, and have an extra old fashioned on me, brother. With that $100 bomb, I'm having 3 extra old. I said, but let's be honest. Are you even going to remember that Xia Li was on the main roster?
No, she wasn't being used. They weren't using her. She went nowhere. I think last time we saw her on TV was last year when she wrestled Becky Lynn. She wasn't being used. She wasn't given an opportunity. She wasn't in no championship match. She didn't do shit. They had no plan for her.
Are you going to miss Xia Li? Did Xia Li have any impact on the women's division?
No.
Was she given a fair chance?
No.
No. I remember when Xia Li was given the comic book skit. You know, they were doing this drawing. There was a vignette. There were several vignettes about her, you know, in this comic book-like fashion. It was good stuff. It was good stuff. And then they dropped it like 3 weeks later. And then she was never seen again. And then, goodbye. That was basically Xia Li's main roster run. That is it. You guys are fucking holy shit, David M with another $100 bomb. We got the dueling Davids over here, man. Holy shit. You can't have 2 Davids dropping bombs. Only one bomb king. Oh, my goodness. David M, thank you so very much, brother. Oh, my goodness. Xia Li, Jinder Mahal, released from WWE, and Zion quit. Who? Listen, man, I don't know who the fuck this is, man. You fill me in on who he is. Seriously. Where's he ended up? He's going to end up, Tony Khan's going to end up signing him. Ray Page is what you say. Oh, all right, that's great. Maybe he'll join Shane Taylor. Seth Rollins, the Street Profits, I believe. Becky Lynch, Drew McIntyre. WWE's just probably loosening up the payroll and whatever I hear throughout the evening going on in Smackdown tonight was decent, man. I had a fun time watching Smackdown. It wasn't a terrible show by any means. Nothing terribly important happened on the show. The most important thing to me that happened on the show was the continuation of the bloodline, how they were going to follow up from last week, where we saw the debut. Oh, my goodness. I mean, I don't know. Do a great job. So The Rock is the final boss. And no one from WWE watches your show. Bullshit. I know for a fact that several people in the company watch the show. I know AEW watches the show too. You want to know why? Because Dax Harwood blocked me on social media, man. Yeah, but I was told that they don't care about the beasts. Savage. Tonight with the $100 super chats. Like I was saying, the one thing I was most interested in is how WWE was going to continue the bloodline angle now. Tama Tonga debuting last week. How are they going to follow that up? What they did tonight to me was absolutely perfection. It was perfection. I have no issues with what they did. They needed to establish Tama Tonga. They needed to establish that Solo is listening to no one. They needed to establish who they are going after first. And right now, that man is Kevin Owens. I love what they did tonight. And I love how we got there. I love the fact that this new era isn't shying away from a little blood either. The entire story with Kevin Owens not being able to find Kevin Owens, Tama Tonga ended up finding him where Solo and Paul Heyman could not. See all of that happen. I mean, just visualize it. But Tama Tonga drags a bloody Kevin Owens out to the stage and down the aisleway, and he very well may be the tribal chief, as I have predicted. The Rock appointed him the new tribal chief, and The Rock is pulling the strings in everybody's absence. What I believe is going on. He hired Tama Tonga, and we are absolutely getting Jacob Fatu at Backlash. I am predicting we get Jacob Fatu at Backlash.
Yeah, hopefully.
And the one big thing is, last week it was already by default Roman Reigns was a babyface after what Solo Sikoa did to Jimmy Uso. Tonight, during his promo, during the Solo Sikoa promo, they were chanting, "We want Roman, we want Roman." Roman Reigns is already a babyface.
And he's never
And
there.
for months, I've said the long game. The Rock wants to play the long game. The Rock's long game is Roman Reigns becoming the company's biggest babyface. Triple H is going to do what Vince failed at. David M with a $100 super chat. Oh my goodness, man. I'm going Tony Khan. Throw money to throw money. What's the bomb record for a single show? David, I have no fucking idea. I think we got the bomb record. I think it's Osakui. My boy Osakui with $500. Maybe. It might have been, I think. Or it's either that or Sid Negan, Daryl, with a $1,000 bomb. Maybe. I don't know. So we have to see. Somebody got to look into that for a OTS record, man. But you guys are fucking killing it tonight, man. And we got another one here, man. Mini bomb. John Gleason with a $50 super. No, he's got a higher. Solo Sikoa is working for a higher power, and that's exactly what he's doing. We'll go over that. And that was my favorite part of the show tonight. Also, AJ Styles is the new #1 contender for Cody Rhodes and the WWE Championship. We will get that match. AJ Styles will against Cody at Backlash in 2 weeks. And then we have new WWE Tag Team Championship title belts, which are absolutely gorgeous. So we will go over all of that right here on Off the Script tonight. You guys have already started this show off with a motherfucking.
All right. Okay. That happened on Smackdown.
Sometimes things change.
Enough of these damn commercials, man.
Beth just had surgery for, I think it was the tournament.
It's LA Knight. He's fine. No pun intended. And ready for Logan Paul at SummerSlam. I know all about it, brother. $100 super chat from exchanging shot for shot.
2 hour SmackDown pretty quick.
Perfect. And Tiffany Stratton winning that Money in the Bank briefcase would probably be the best way to go about it.
Yeah, it
If
makes
she
sense.
cashes in on whomever, depends on what brand she's on. We don't even know what brand she's going to be on. It's going to be SmackDown.
I hope it's SmackDown because it makes sense. We don't need her on Raw. I think SmackDown makes sense. And her casting in on the babyface and Bailey makes a lot more sense.
It's going to be Raw. Is it going to be Liv, Becky, Nia? Is it going to be Bailey? We don't know. We don't know. But Tiffany Stratton basically is letting you all know that she's championship, and that's ultimately what she wants. I thought this was a very good episode of SmackDown. Very good, might be strong. I would say it was a decent episode. I love the Bloodline stuff. I thought LA Knight and AJ Styles was decent. The tag team match was fun, and Bailey and Naomi was all right. I mean, we didn't really get much. Again, we have a draft coming up, and after SmackDown, next week's SmackDown's going to be big. SmackDown and the draft. After next week's draft, it's going to be, all hands on deck. It's going to be full steam ahead, and we're going to get stories, and we're going to get what the new era is all about. So I'm excited about that. I don't believe it. I legitimately don't believe it. My guy Daryl, watching from fucking the rafters, watching from some rooftop in Gotham City. He's like, motherfucker, let me show you how it's done. Sit.
All right. Crew WrestleMania be held in May. That would make sense. So these are the news and rumors that I wanted to talk to you guys about. TBS said I did a good thing, guys.
I don't know what you guys are thinking when it comes to.
Did Tony Khan basically admit he hates the fans and that he is never wrong? It was earlier today. They gotta know the AEW Dynasty pay-per-view this Sunday. Tony Khan is still hammering home how great the footage of CM Punk and Jack Perry was when it aired on AEW Dynamite last week, claiming that TBS told him he did a good job, and the fan regrading didn't mean much of anything, Tony. Also, Tony Khan was asked if he would ever step away from the head of Booker or creative of AEW. Now this was a go-home show. John Moxley returned at the IWG Championship. Well, not much happened on SmackDown, really. Christian Miracle. AEW Dynasty for this.
Guys, the NFL is different. QBs and centers, they're closer. That's why Old Spice, total.
Now this is the predictions of the pay-per-view this Sunday. We have Bryan Danielson and hold on.
We'll always want to look back.
Will Ospreay and Bryan Danielson. Doesn't say it's not for a title, right? I don't know. It didn't really say. Doesn't matter. A trios match with Adam Copeland, Mark Bissell, Eddie Kingston versus the House of Black. I'm looking forward to this. Should be a good match. The heel may go over, and maybe they can set up Adam Copeland and Malachi Black or Buddy Murphy. I mean, Buddy Matthews. They can face Adam Cole for the TNT title. They could, but not sure yet.
ROH champion, Mark Briscoe. So we got a list of champions here. Eddie Kingston, I believe, still the openweight champ. I think he still has it? Yeah, I just looked it up. He still has it. Sorry about that, folks. But yeah, one side is actually all champions. AEW's TNT champion, New Japan's strong champion, and of course Ring of Honor's world champion. Yep. And for the record, yeah, I know that the Rainmaker, because it's got
Here's the third match.
good legacy, but
We have Lionheart Chris Jericho versus Hook for the FTW Championship. I think Hook will probably win. So that's the third match.
God's gonna put the ring up.
0 hours, title for title. So it may be on the pre-show. The AEW World Trio Champion. The Ring of Honor 6-man Tag Team Champion. The Bullet Club Gold versus the Acclaim. I think the Bullet Club may win. I'm gonna go for them. I think they'll win the match. This is on the pre-show. It said 0 hours, so it's on the pre-show. I think the Bullet Club will win here.
Honor Trios titles. Winner take all. I don't know if it's a championship unification, but I'll be honest, they might want to do that because I don't see the point of keeping the hold of this.
Yeah, make them like undisputed.
Yeah, the undisputed threesome champions.
Oh my!
Yeah, I Trios, that makes a lot more sense.
Here's the fifth match
Yeah, it's completely stolen the spot.
for the TBS Championship. Julie Hart defended against Widow Knightman.
Later, bit because nobody's talking about that actual match. They're talking about the result that's going to happen as a result of the match. Yeah, the winner is getting Mercedes. This honestly just has me thinking, considering the fact that she's been feuding with Willow Nightingale, I'm like, could Willow probably win that title and then she just drops it to Mercedes? I think if Mercedes wins that or nothing, that's just going to make it even worse.
I mean, she's winning in her debut match. Don't forget, that's the bit.
For the last year.
Here's the sixth match. The AEW Women's World Champion Tyler Tony Storm defended against Thunder Rosa. I think Tony Storm can retain here.
It's been amazing. It's been so freaking awesome. You had that dog in it. Be like freaking Aisha Speed.
I really like Tony's definitely going on. If I may,
Here's the seventh match. For the AEW Continental Championship, Koki Okada defended against Pac. I think Okada can retain here.
Just chilling at that boom. Speaking of booms and everything, yeah, AEW now is the same concussion machine that WWE uses for the pyrotechnics. There's only one problem though. It gets you every time. And the reason for that is because the wrestlers, when they have pyro, they just go off at random times. They don't have like a signal. Like the only one who really has a signal is Edge when he does his signature horns, his devil horns. But everybody else, they just walk into the ring, walk.
Alright.
Hallelujah.
Roger Strong defending the AEW International Champion against Kyle O'Reilly. I think Roger Strong can retain here.
Says he was like,
They're like 8 matches. Here's tag team.
we could be very well.
FTR and Young Bucks for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. I think FTR gonna win.
I've seen one of the.
Or maybe the Young Bucks may win.
Ladder matches ever. You know, it is very popular. That's okay. Honestly, we're not like a bunch of all those freaking losers who are just constantly just trashing you just because you don't.
Alright. The last match. Here's the last match for the main event. Samoa Joe defending the AEW World Champion versus against Swerve Strickland. Could be a great match. Since obviously Joe gonna retain. I don't think Swerve's gonna win. I think Samoa Joe's gonna retain.
Those guys who like to go on and on about race and all that, obviously. You know, the first ever there's at least one thing. But I actually, honestly, I would hold that off. Hold off Swerve and anger. Hold it off. Hold on. Maybe get started with somebody else. Regardless, Swerve holds the belt till Wednesday. And then Beast knows where I'm going with it.
First time. This Sunday, the first time pay-per-view for All Elite Wrestling in St. Louis. There's like 10 matches or 8 or 9 matches on the card. Yeah, there's like 10 matches. Probably one on the pre-show. There's like 9 matches on the main show. 10 matches. Well, it looks like that they're done here. Might want to end my video. Smackdown ended pretty quickly, so what do we have much to talk about? Well, not Raw was a lot longer, but Smackdown was pretty quicker. Well, might want to end the video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all the support. Hit that like button. Leave a comment. Please subscribe to my channel. I'll be back with more. This is Jacob Cat 2024. Until next time.